that actually works. Trust me on that. Starting things a little bit early to make sure everything works. Haven't. Aha! It does work. Woohoo! Um, but I'm taking a quick look at stuff tonight for with Contour, a bit of a planning stage kind of thing. I've been pulling my hair out for the past week trying to do this stuff, and now that I know that it works, I can do a couple things that I need. The whole process of people are watching. Hello, people. Hey, John, how's it going? Um, I was just about to post something on Facebook uh, about this, but it's kind of funny. But I guess I won't at the moment then. That's all good. Anyway, part of the biggest problem I have right now, as you can see, is the calendar. I threw some stuff up that I have for some of the openings, at least, that I'm planning on hitting. And my biggest problem is distance, and that's actually a huge thing. Um, in the past, I've actually had to go through and do some really odd finagling of things, and this map is saved. Open. I think this is the one from. Yep, it is. As you can see, I get all over the place in the Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland kind of way. I don't think I have anything in Florida. Usually, some of this stuff actually spaces out. You know, I get like Williamsburg and Kings Dominion, and they'll work together. They're not doing that this year. So I'm actually trying to map things out because we have, Howl-O-Scream's opening up on the 23rd, and then Kings Dominion's not for a week later. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. Kings Dominion actually doesn't have anything going on, and that's something that's a little bit tricky. To answer your question, I'm actually out near Pittsburgh, about 45 minutes east of Pittsburgh, right near where Pennsylvania Turnpike and 70 split. It's good to get around. It's not so great for a lot of other things, but living right in the Haunt Belt definitely helps. That's something that I always talk about as far as, I live in the perfect place to get away from. So my biggest thing right now is trying to figure out tonight is at least a little bit of where I plan to go and get some of that extra on this map. That's something that we haven't done at all. I'm kind of slacking on it. And so I'm going to go in here and start setting a few things up the way I like it. This actually goes on the website, and I can easily, I know I'm going to 108 Manor, so I can slip these. Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that. I'm going to add you to the. I know I'll be there for their opening night, so that's not that. They're not that far. I was actually there earlier today. No, actually somebody else is as well. I think that might be Dave. I have him in another chat. I also have been slacking and haven't posted this up in other places. I do that real Get that up in a real quick. No, ever so exciting. I'm seeing things flash next to me, and it's really weird because I have this whole second monitor set up for everything. my ugly mug up there in the. Anyway, back to what I was doing. The map. It's okay. I know all about your icons. Anyway, that's actually the 9th. I know what I'm doing there. It's not something that's that big of a surprise. Field of Screams is another haunt that I'm going to be going back to this year. We didn't get a chance to go there last year. They're doing their media night on the 10th, so I get to do. Come on, come out. I basically get to be here and then here within 24 hours. Actually, less than that, probably. Just for the way things work. So that's basically the first weekend. My biggest issue that I run into always with this is the fact that some of these places are all over. Like I said, I live kind of in this area right here, right around Greensburg. And so the Pittsburgh haunts are very easy for me to get to, as are some of the ones in Ohio. But issues that I run into big time are when I have things here like Dorney and Eastern State, which are both over on the complete opposite side of the state from me, and then I have something in Ohio the same weekend. Entry, that's definitely going on. I will be going there. Map is so strange. I'm liking it, but at the same time, it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. Let's see. Dorney, I'm not 100% sold on this year. They don't have a whole lot new. But they do have a new mansion meal thing, and I've enjoyed that in the past. So I'm kind of curious to see what their new executive head chef's going to be doing. So I'll put them on the map as well. I know a few other places from out here that I'll definitely be hitting. This is good old Castle Blood. I'll actually be there tomorrow. I was talking to them today. Hey, Dave. I was actually talking with the owner of Castle Blood, and I'm actually going to do some video work with them tomorrow. Promo stuff for this year that they want to get out. So that'll be a little bit fun. I get to see what they've been up to. Kind of got that experience today with 100 Acre Manor. I went down and Ethan was gracious enough to give me the tour, the rough tour of things that are going on there. I haven't. It's so not near finished yet, and they only have 2 weeks, so it'll be interesting to see how they pull that together. I added in Bloodview because that's a place that I mean to get back to. I haven't been in a couple of years, and it's definitely a great little haunt. Wells Township. Finds it. Okay, it actually just comes up as Wells Township. That's actually where the haunt is, which is really interesting. It's got to be like the greatest address ever. Where's your haunt? Just look up Wells Township. It'll show up. Those guys are great. That's another place I'm definitely going to be hitting this year. Let's see. Who else? I'm getting into a little bit advanced stuff here as far as further down in the year goes. Not quite sure how that's going to play out. So I have to think about some of that stuff. This actually doesn't get, I actually don't do the map usually in chronological order. I just kind of throw it all in there, and I'll make the announcements as they happen because everything changes, weather and all sorts of things screw up. Oh, do they actually have that? Oh, okay, interesting. So they did change things up. I actually didn't see that. I'm gonna go look at that right now, actually. That's, huh. I'm actually really curious about that now because I didn't get anything about it. Oh, September 11th. Really? They're doing a pass off? Okay, I just caught that out of the corner of my eye. Blood on the Bayou and the Ward. Okay, so it looks like the Ward's taking over Asylum and Blood on the Bayou. I don't know what that's. Huh. That's interesting. Honestly curious about this. Yeah, that's definitely taking over where Asylum was. Don't know where Bayou's going. If there's any clue in the description. Across from the Cannonball. Huh. Curious. Kind of neat. I will have to definitely keep an eye out for that. So I guess I will go back to Dorney this year. Thanks for the heads up on that. That's something that I was not expecting. So continuing with the plotting here. Oh, okay. So they're putting it over right underneath. I didn't see that in there. Going back again. I'm getting sidetracked. I mean, you're just talking about this actually in the Discord chat that's up running as well. Desolation. Okay. Yep. Desolation kind of need a little bit of a revamp. I'll agree on that. So, wow, that's really weird that Dorney just didn't say anything hardly. I mean, they might have, and I just totally could have missed it. My sleep schedule is completely messed up. Anyway, the heck was I zoomed in at? Oh, Fright Farm. Yeah, I gotta add that. I don't know. I didn't go last year, but I'm sure they've changed up enough years since it's been that'll go. Hillside. These guys are fairly new, but they're actually doing a great job, and they're pretty local too. So that's always a nice thing. Just kind of filling in the some of the locals. Oh, they announced it on Facebook. Okay. I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. Gonna go look real. Okay, there it is. Yep. Board announcement. Blood on the Bayou. So yep, they definitely did. Yeah. So from the sounds of it, it sounds like the ward might be the swan song to the asylum themed haunt. In any sense. Cutthroat Island, huh? Well, I could see that because I'd been railing on that for the past couple years because it was very out of the way and weird to get to since they moved Cornstalkers. So I don't really know if that's such a, I don't know if it was really working for them. Um, if it'll show up. Oh, Eastwood Field does show up, so add it to the map. It's a really it's Eastwood Field thing. It's the experience. It's from the guys who did Ghoul Mansion up in Sharon, so they're doing, uh, okay. I don't know why that's green. Down by the Stinger was, oh yeah, okay. I remember they did try to do that whole Headhunters thing down there, which is actually kind of cool and unique, but I don't think it really worked for them. Dorney's kind of one of those things where they've done really well. They've gotten a lot better over the past couple of years, so I don't know. It's always a strange experience to be there for me because it used to be my local park. I used to live near there. Yeah, it should have one. Usually, I don't think they're going to change the hunts that have that. I know some of the scare zones had them last year too. As my mind gets completely off track, but it's all totally cool, John. Um, let's see, where else was I thinking of? There is Scare House is something I don't do. They're kind of on my blacklist. Personal reasons. Shouldn't let that get in the way of things, but it totally does. Let's see here. Um, I don't know. West Deer I went to last year. Still got some growing pains, but I might go back to him again this year. But so I'm going to stop writing all that stuff there. Talk for a minute. Um, one of the biggest things, again, like I said, is just figuring this out because, as you've seen on the map a little bit, Dorney and State are eastern Pennsylvania, Bloodview is eastern Ohio, and that just leads to a whole lot of issues as far as travel goes. And Dorney is a big event, so I'm there all day. There's just no way around that. So I don't know how I'm going to work that out. I don't know if, I mean, opening night's not a necessity for a lot of these things, but I do try to like to get in kinds of events, especially for places that I know that are really good, just to see if they are just as good on opening night as they are a few weeks into the season. Um, Now, the next weekend, the 23rd, there is just a ton of stuff that opens. Some of the stuff is around Philly, so that weekend could be a Philly weekend around the 23rd to 25th. I don't really know. Um, Eastern State and things like that. Eve, I could probably pull off then. So the weekend of the 30th and the 1st, I just don't know because again, that's all over the place. That's got stuff in Ohio and Virginia and Pittsburgh, and I don't even know where to begin with that. And there's a home haunter doing a thing in Ohio, in Eastern Ohio on the 15th. So that's another thing that just trying to figure it out is very tough. Other amusement parks that I plan to do, Dorney is on the list, obviously. Um, I should put Kennywood in. I haven't been in the few years. The last time I went, I wasn't overly impressed with things, and so I don't know if they've grown any. They may have. So that's another one I got to think about. Busch Gardens Williamsburg is one, and I'll actually throw them in. Usually I do go on there for their media night. Do have a new scare zone and maze this year, so that's something I got to keep in mind. I've gone every single year to Howl-O-Scream Williamsburg, so that's just a thing there. I'd really like to be able to get back to Island for their Halloween haunt. There's a you'll notice a theme here with Cedar Fair locations. This is really weird because there's no borders on any of the states, and it kind of wigs me out as I'm making this thing. But I've always wanted to get down to Scarowinds too, see theirs. That's something that's been an interesting. Well, Scarowinds isn't going to come up, but Carowinds will. I can plot and make the list. So many places in here. Yep. Okay. Wow. Already getting slightly full. I don't know what's. Okay, it's Don from the garage. Don. I don't know if Don's in here, but cool. So yeah, theme parks that I'm actually hoping to hit would be Kennywood, Dorney, Busch Gardens, Kings Island, maybe Carowinds if I can swing it. I don't know. It's about an 8-hour trip for me to get down there. Really not that much different than going to Williamsburg. King's Dominion, I just don't know if I can do it. They have absolutely nothing new this year that I saw. I will double check that. Pretty sure they don't have anything new. Oh, okay, they're getting a Trick or Treat house of their own. But other than that, everything else is the same. And I've seen Trick or Treat at Dorney, and I don't think it's going to differentiate too much from that. So that's something that I don't think I may not bother with them this year as much as I enjoyed my time down there last year. It's just looking at the calendar. I just don't know when I can do it. That's just one of those things, how it comes down to it. And these are the things that make me sit there and pull my hair out because I really want to go to a lot of these places, but I just can't. I also do want to, I mean, if things go well with a couple other projects that I'm going to be doing, and along with this, with these videos and a whole bunch of other stuff, is hopefully getting into doing, getting back down to Florida to hit those haunts. I just added the Haunted Schoolhouse and Lab because Daffy, the Dark Attraction and Funhouse Enthusiast group, is actually doing an event there. Look up Daffy, D-A-F-E, joining or whatever. It's kind of a member thing for people to get together and get some behind the scenes looks and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off either. I think that's the first, which, isn't on my calendar. So that's one of those things where it's close enough that I might be able to swing it don't really know. I have been trying to get back down to HHN Orlando and Busch Gardens Tampa. It's been a few years, but I haven't been able to swing it because there's all these other the Cornstalkers at Cedar Fair Parks. It's interesting. I've actually been to enough of them that I can actually do that almost now. Yeah, it's an interesting thing that they all pretty much they all have them except for Knott's, and it's an odd thing. I could probably do Carnival too now that I think about it. For those that don't know, all of the Cedar Fair parks they do share a lot of the themes for scare zones and mazes, and Cornstalkers and Carnival are two of the biggest ones that they actually do. You'll find them at most of the parks. I believe that Carowinds is also doing. I don't know if they actually have the Scarewinds page. See anything on Carowinds. Okay, so that means they might have some new stuff if they're waiting this long. Wow, they're waiting a long time. That's kind of interesting. But again, it would actually be quite fun to do that. I should see who has, create an award for the best Cornstalkers experience at a Cedar Fair park. Oh, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time it's happened. Um, so, trying to think of all the other haunts in the area that I've been to. Help my count. This year I am hoping to get back to Pennhurst. If it's not me, I might actually send Bill, who's a member of our team, and he's been reviewing for us for a little while, so I think I can finally send him on his own. To a few haunts, and he lives in the Philly area. Hayrides, yes, actually, that's something. Actually, I just put that in there. Bates Motel has a great hayride. There are a couple near me. It's on a hayride. I didn't get to last year. I meant to. Now it's on a hayride. Look at that. Yeah, there's actually hayrides are something that I'm trying to get into. I actually got my start on hayrides. Good old Sleepy Hollow, which might be on the list for this year. I should probably put that in here anyway. Up this way. Okay, it's actually going to be House on the Hollow. Active Acres Farm, just in Newtown, outside of Newtown, has a hayride where I started working at back in 1993, 94, somewhere around there. I don't know, the years blur together at this point. Oof. Things are getting a bit messy in here. I'm seeing all kinds of conflicts because, I mean, some stuff's easy to group together and do. I know that I want to try to get to Legends of the Fog as well. So, I don't know. In lieu of doing, I mean, King's Dominion, I still want to go. But in lieu of doing that, I might do Bennett's Curse and Legends of the Fog instead. Still haven't decided. I mean, they've invited me out. Some of these places do have hayrides incorporated into them. Like I said, going back to that real quick, Bates Motel has their haunted house and their hayride. There are a few out here as well. I just don't know exactly how I can spring them because weather's a big thing. Outdoor haunts are really tough. Haunted Hillside's an outdoor trail, and I always run into issues with weather with those guys. I'm just gonna get rid of that number onto the Twitter tab. It's just so distracting to me right now. So again, the trails and outdoor haunts like hayrides are really tough, just because I can't factor in the weather, and I try to hit them because I do enjoy them a lot. It's just a matter of figuring out if I can do it. Now, Freight Farm also has a hayride incorporated into it, so kind of a weird little bit dichotomy that happens with that place. Just because you get on the hayride first, and then you go. It's like it's like six attractions, and they're all in line with each other. But the hayride's the starting point, and then you get off that and go into the actual haunted house, which is crazy, like Willy Wonka-esque insanity acid-filled trip thing. A lot of fun. But and then you go from there. You go right into all the other attractions. So it's a strange thing. Let me see. What else is there? I said no scare house this year, so it's not something going to be doing. Long story behind that, and I'll probably it's not something I really like to bring up, but just for those curious, Scare House is one of the biggest names out there, but let's see. I think I've got that area covered up there. I'm actually going to try to get to the Hanatuchi. In Ohio, I've heard so much about this place that I almost need to go. Um, the stories just get more and more insane, and it's not that bad of a drive. I think it's like maybe like 3 hours to get out there. But since I see Cincinnati on here, then Schoolhouse, go down to see Bud and the gang. They are a whole lot of fun. If you have a chance to get to Cincinnati, I would definitely go. Let's see. USS Nightmare is one that I definitely want to do. Again, some of these are just big names that have been on the Travel Channel and all sorts of things. But I haven't gotten a chance to get to them, so... And Scream Acres. They were actually closed last year and doing a massive revamping. So I'm seeing the map zoom in and out of the really free. All right, so we have things plotted out fairly decently here. I'll go back to Philly here because there are some places I need to add, like Fright Factory. Haven't been in a couple years. Didn't get out and do like a proper Philly leg of the tour last year, but they're always a good time and hard to them. Going back, they need to be seen once again. It's been a while. I don't know if they've changed anything, but they may have. Let's see here. This is already turning into a beautiful disaster. There's no Ghoul Mansion because they closed. Let's see. I know right near the experience is the. Again, that'll be a fun thing to do. Let's see. Charlotte. Whole empty space here. Um, Allegheny has been one I've been meaning to get to. This is in Weston. You can actually see the outline here of hospital building. It used to be a mental hospital, and it's something that I'm kind of still waffling on. I did talk to them last year, but I just couldn't get down there. There's just a lot of reasons. So maybe that'll be something that. Let's see who else is out here. Shocktoberfest. I'd love to get back there again. Last time we went, they had a really crappy night as far as actor attendance goes, so I'd like to give them a second shot if I ever get the chance. Ooh, the list gets longer and longer. I mean, the Philly stuff's pretty easy to do. I can kind of hit a lot of that stuff in one weekend. Um, Baltimore area issue, I don't know about yet. It's going to take angling. I will put King's Dominion in. I don't know if I'll hit there. It'd be really nice if I could, though, because that idea, John, is so great to try and hit. Try to do a comparison of places. I mean, that would put Cedar Point on the map, too. Like, good guys, I'm going to hit every single Cedar Fair park within 8 hours of my house. I mean, because you have that would be really interesting. There is some stuff on Long Island that I know a couple people have wanted me to hit, but I don't know of any haunted houses out here. But you know what? Let's actually just do a blind search. Haunted attraction. Um, okay, there's absolutely nothing shows up on Long Island for that. What the heck? I know there's some out there. Haunted house. There we go. Wow, they're way out on the island. Holy crap. These. Phase haunted house. Dark side haunted. Okay. I don't really know. Brighton Asylum, that's a place that I've been meaning to get to. I'd love to be able to do it. Bane, I've heard, again, some iffy things. So yeah, that could be a thing. I don't know the other haunts that are up there. Pure Terror, I've heard about them. I'm not sure. Okay, that's starting to get up in Dave's territory. Scariest haunted houses. It's a good question, actually. And no, I don't really have an answer for that. I've worked in the industry for so long at this point that it's incredibly hard to actually scare me. Sorry if I'm looking off to the side here. But, um, you know, scariest though, I'd have to say places that are really going to freak people out probably are going to be Bloodview and up in Broadview Heights, Ohio, near Cleveland. They're kind of a no holds barred place a little bit. They do have a sign that says "You will be touched," which is kind of a fun thing. When they reroute people and just really have fun with it. Let's see who else. Haunted Hoochie, I haven't been to, but everything I hear, it's completely off the walls, crazy. So hopefully this year I can find out firsthand. Um, Penhurst kind of has a lot of that going on with it too, mostly because they are in a state hospital. So that's. I'll have these green dots. I'm not searching. Um, but as far as scariest goes, I mean, Dent Schoolhouse is up there. It's really good. 100 Acre Manor is kind of a non-stop experience. They just assault you like constantly, not physically, just sensory kind of way. So, Ethan, if you watch this, not advocating that you're with people, although you may feel like it some days. So those places I think would have to be some of the scariest, just based on what I've seen. Outdoor attractions. I mean, they're all technically sort of outdoors. I mean, 100 Acre actually kind of falls into that. Even though it did have some indoor elements. See, I'm trying to think here. Total outdoor, you get into the idea of like something like Haunted Hillside, where they are very in your face with things. And while again, I have to go off of other people's reactions because I just don't get scared anymore, which makes reviewing haunted houses very weird. But that's why I like to go in groups and I bring people, so I can see how effective things are. But Haunted Hillside has a reputation for being very out there and very up there. Same with the Hooch. The Hoochie is all outdoors. Bloodview, again, that's mostly outdoors. Let's see, who else? You know, the prison at Shocktoberfest I really, really enjoyed. I don't know if I call it the scariest, but the prison section of Shocktoberfest is crazy because a lot of that's outdoors as well. They also have a hayride. Totally forgot. Oh, okay. So yeah, that goes back right back to the hayride thing. A lot of places that I'm going to try to hit this year. Actual, you know, they actually have hayrides. Let's see. I don't really know of any else that's what I call actually scary. 100 Acre Manor, again, they're one of the few places that actually got me to jump. um, you know, and they've never let me live it down. So, you know, I'm gonna do it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get down there. Again, this will all depend on the Patreon and stuff like that, which I haven't really talked about tonight. I don't know if I'm going to in depth at least. It depends on how that goes, and if that goes fairly well, the next couple weeks, I might be able to swing a trip down to Florida to hit up Halloween Horror Nights and Hollow Scream Town. It's been a while since I've been to both, so that's something I'm looking forward to getting. Let's see. Um, so yeah, again, this all comes down to openings, and it's usually the first few weeks that are my biggest headaches with this stuff. And so when people are actually planning to do these things, it's there's not too many of us that do it. There's myself and Oni, and there's a couple other groups that are in the Ohio Valley, Pennsylvania, Great Lakes-ish kind of area. Because as we like to say, we live in the Haunt Belt, which kind of runs from the Philadelphia, New Jersey region through Pennsylvania into Ohio and up into Michigan and Illinois. Maybe a little bit in Indiana as well. But so there's like over 1,000 of them. But so the biggest issue is the first couple of weeks because as you can see the way things open and how things are spaced apart. You're looking at several hundred miles, in a day or a weekend, just to hit a couple places. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I have things that are pretty much planned out. Like I said, September 9th, I'll be at 100 Acre Manor. September 10th, I'll be at Field of Screams for their media hospitality night, which I haven't attended before, so that'll be interesting to see how that differs. Haunted corn mazes. Yeah, Bates Motel actually has one. Who else has a corn maze? Haunted Hillside had one as part of it. That's gone now. Busch Gardens Williamsburg had one last year, which is called Cornered. Interesting. This is its first year for it. They're still learning. I don't know if they'll get it this year. I'm pretty sure it's coming back. I can actually check that. I'm just getting distracted. Let's see. I don't know if they're bringing back Cornered. I would be surprised if they got rid of it. Yeah, okay, they are bringing it. So, yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, the best Cornstalkers I ever saw was actually at Darney, but not the current version of it. It was a version that was a couple years ago when it was over actually the by the water park by Wild Water Kingdom. Actually went into Wild Water Kingdom. It was huge. So that was something that was really interesting to go through. So yeah, I had to collect my thoughts there. But overall, I'm try to stick within. Is it different than Cornstalkers? Yeah, it definitely is. It's actually more in line with what Cornstalkers has turned into. So, Cornered and the new Cornstalkers. Even still called Cornstalkers? My brain is not on right now. Let's see here. Cornstalkers, yeah. Which is when they kind of took Cornstalkers and Cornered is very different. I was just checking to make sure that they didn't do anything weird. Um, yeah, Cornered is kind of like what they turned Cornstalkers into now, and that's just something that I don't know. I've grappled with a little bit because it's very samey in a way, but at the same time, Cornered does a lot of stuff very differently. It's a much more compact area that they're in, and they're pretty much totally outside. Whereas Dorney actually has like the house building like that now. They took the slaughterhouse themed haunt like now. I was there a couple years ago. They took that and kind of mashed it with Cornstalkers to make the new Cornstalkers. Whereas the one at Busch Gardens has some of that indoor element, but it's mostly like outdoor structure. And there's not a whole lot of roofs over your head. And they use mirrors and stuff to try to make it look like it's bigger, and it's a different experience. I'd actually have to say if you're going to go with one's better than the other, it's probably Dorney Park. Or even actually the one that's the best Cornstalkers that I've seen so far is actually King's Dominion. Theirs is great. Uh, no, you can't. There's so many logistical issues with that. That getting lost in actual corn mazes this destroys your throughput and your flow, and that's why hunts don't. 100 Acre even got rid of their infamous maze that people were actually using and use Google Maps to navigate because it actually showed up. But yeah, no, they don't. That's just one of the big no-nos as far as corn mazes go in a haunt setting. A place that's actually designed as a big corn maze that you can get lost in, yeah, for sure. Maybe they can throw a few scares in there, but when you have 15, 20,000 people showing up, it's not a good idea. It's like that. I love the idea behind it, but logistically, it's just not good. But yeah, no, I try to, getting back to where I was, try to keep everything within like a tank of gas. Because again, there's so much to see and do that as long as I'm in that range of things, I can do everything. And so far, I think I'm pretty much there. It's in New York, obviously, that's in New Jersey. Let's see. Yeah, wow. I don't even know how many are here right now. Count real quick. Okay, so there's 35 on the list, which covers a large area, mostly concentrated, obviously, in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and that's just how things work out. Like I said, I usually try to target 40. Things don't always work out. It's another issue that I always run into planning this stuff because I can go, oh, this is going to be the Cincinnati weekend, and I go out there and um, they're all indoor haunts except for Kings Island. This is going to be the Cincinnati weekend, for whatever weekend it is. And in this case, we'll hypothetically say it's like September or October 7th that weekend. And the weekend before is say Pittsburgh weekend. There's a lot of outdoor haunts in Pittsburgh. Say it rains is say it rains and you get screwed. So you end up with having to push stuff around, and sometimes I have to cut entire cities out, which is a bit of a bummer, and it kind of affects the entire tour. But I try not to let that happen. Yeah, I heard Mansion House at Dorney is getting redone. That's actually something that will have could use a bit of an update. I don't know how much they'll do. I've been in there all over the place because I've done the mansion meal the past couple of years, so that's something that I'm seeing. Again, thanks for pointing out. That they're actually doing a couple new things. I'll have to definitely got to try to figure out how to get out there. Last time I did a Philly trip, we did 7 haunts in 3 days, which was absolutely crazy because we started out and we did Field of Screams and Shocktoberfest, then Penhurst and Bates Hotel, and then we did a place down in South Jersey called Freight Factory, or no, Fear Factory? Yeah, Fear Factory, New Jersey. And then we came back the next day and did, and then we did, we did Fear Factory, New Jersey, then we did Freight Factory, then we did Eastern State all in the same night. So I don't know if I could swing that with Dorney, because Dorney's an all night kind of. But again, that's a thing where usually when they invite me out, it's the first Saturday. Oh, yeah, no. Usually I get invited out. And yeah, no, I'd love to. It'd be great. It'd be great actually. It could be kind of cool. Hook up and see what's going on. Again, if I do go, I'm thinking it might be the 17th. I don't know. I gotta talk to them a little bit more. See where things at. Let's see. Trying to remember all the other haunts that are out here. Hmm, I heard of a new one. Woohoo! Who are you? Why are you here? Oh, that's Scarehouse here. Let's see. Oh, that's one I didn't even remember. There's I'm laughing at this now. There's the Fear Experience, and then right down the road from them, no, that's a little bit further away actually, is the Experience. Like, this is just who do I have to talk to? I actually talk to their media people and things like that. I need to get back in touch with them. Their PR people, their PR about coming out. Because usually there's a lot of stuff involved when I go to a theme park hunt, so I need to iron some things out with them. Because there's things like video, all sorts of stuff like that that I have to has to be accounted for, and I need to know my plans, and I need to know theirs, and what I can do and what I can't. Been a little bit of back and forth already with that, but that's getting into a whole other aspect of this thing, the emails, which I'm slacking on. But having done it for so many years now, they all know me. So a lot of people I can just go, hey, I'm coming, and they're like, cool, we'll see you then. Sometimes they sit there and go, oh, you're going to kill me, because of whatever issues they're having. But let's see. Wow. 8 including Dorney. I can't do that in a week. For that. That's 2 trips there. I'm trying to see this now, how I can pull this off. I mean, everything in Philly opens on the 23rd. These are the things that really annoy me. And I get it, the attendance isn't high enough for some of the smaller haunts to open around the larger ones, and it's just, but it just kills me because it's the back and forth, especially dealing with the turnpike. But, that's just a whole other rant. One that I was actually talking to Dave about this earlier today, about how it's such a frustrating thing to deal with. Again, I'm actually going to pop over to my page here real quick. Just because to say, yes, in fact, the first weekend actually is planned out. Actually do have at least 2 for the first weekend, which isn't so bad. We usually start late anyway, just because no one's open, as you can see, on the 9th and the 10th. There's just not a lot open. And I try to get to some places early just to give them the word of mouth, to get the reviews out, because usually my schedule operates on I'll travel late Thursday night or Friday morning to get to a haunt, and then that whole weekend I'm busy hitting places, sometimes 2 or 3 a night, and then I'll get back either late Sunday night or Monday at some point in the afternoon, and that gives me Monday evening, Tuesday and Wednesday, and maybe some of Thursday to actually do actual work reviews. So that's just one of those things where the beginning initial stages of figuring out the haunt is figuring out the whole, at least initial weekends, is the biggest challenge for me. First weekend, we'll be doing 100 Acre Manor on September 9th and Field of Screams on the 10th. Field of Screams is out in Mountville, Pennsylvania. You're like, so it's right here. We were there a couple years ago, had a great time, so looking forward to getting back and seeing what they've changed. So that'll be a really fun weekend, I think. Phil's actually going to be joining me as well, part of our review team, and I don't know if Carrie from Insanity Lurks Inside will be with us, but she might be. Depends on a few factors for her. I'm hoping she can make it because it's always fun when the three of us are together. At least we like to think so. The haunts go, oh God, all three of you are here. What the hell? Uh, it never ends well when all three of us are there. But so yeah, that's the first weekend. Second weekend I could just do Dorney and Eastern State. I didn't look to see when Shocktoberfest opens. Oh, there's gonna be a whole lot. Yeah. Mute. The 16th. Oh, okay, so actually I might be able to pull a weekend off there. Wow. Okay. Sweet. Shocktoberfest open. That actually may happen now. Oh wait, then well, if I'm gonna do Dorney in that weekend, Shocktoberfest and Oktoberfest. Dorney on Saturday. Yeah, that actually might work. That actually may work. Question mark right here. Okay. That's an all day. They usually go and they do the mansion meal to review. So yeah, okay. So there's the Dorney thing. And let's see what else. Roughing this out a little bit. I don't know what Sunday would be. Is Bloodview actually open on Sunday? Any actual idea of what I'm doing at the moment? Brains all over. I assure you, Bloodview does not close in 15. Come on, guys. Oh no, right they're going through a whole. Bloodview's not open. Stop that. I'll just put Bloodview in. That would be crazy though. Wow, no, that would be. I'm gonna actually go on the maps and see this. What would I even be thinking? I'd be doing. I think I can do these two in a. Bear with me here. Figure this second weekend out now. Terrible. Oh. Okay. Oh. Geez. That's special. I don't know if that's something that's doable or possible. I don't. That's just I might be a little bit insane for trying to do it. I mean, it'd be an epic trip, don't get me wrong, but that's 903 miles of driving. Oh, I've done worse, but oof. Then I gotta go back again. Jesus. I mean, if I did that, I'd have to stay local the next week. I'd absolutely have to do the Pittsburgh Continental. I don't think I could afford to do all that again. No, it's just this is. If you look at it, coming full circle from near where I live all the way around, it's 900 to 3 miles of driving to do from Friday from basically Friday through Sunday. a lot of just over 14 hours, if not more. And it's not so bad getting out there because it's only 3 hours until 1, and then things are broken up. But the big one is the 5 and 6 hour trip from Dorney all the way to Bloodview. It's a Sunday night too. I don't know. I'd have to say. But apparently it's possible to do this trip. I don't know if I want to though. Because that's just an evil, evil set of circumstances to actually try and do. Yeesh. Doable though. I mean, it'd be a crazy second weekend. Usually, because then the next weekend I have to figure in. I can't. The next weekend I have to do going down to Williamsburg. And what is and it's off of there. But I don't know if I can handle too big. Driving in an RV, yeah, awesome. I would absolutely love that. Oh, well, they might be open that weekend. I don't know. They still have last year's dates. Guys, you open in like 3 weeks. Another thing that really bugs. Legends of the Fog. Let's see. November 23rd. Okay, so I could possibly do. I guess that's Fog open. Guess that's correct open. Yeah, I'd absolutely love to have an RV. So that's that whole thing with Patreon. Maybe that'll actually happen when. As for now, I just stay in hotels and see how things go from there. But let's see here. Ooh, okay. I think I'm actually pretty close to having a good idea of what's happening. Been a little bit longer than I thought I'd work on this. It's been about an hour. But overall, it looks like it's a pretty good setup for things where I have, like I said, I have 35, 2 are kind of out there with Florida. Oh, well, if I'm going to put Florida. There we go. I'll throw Vault of Souls in. If I'm going to throw in stuff, I might as well and see what Scott's up to down there. Yeah, an RV. I mean, I'm not opposed to sleeping in my car to pull this off. So I guess my car could technically classify as an RV. I have a tent. Although tenting in the fall is not. But yeah, again, that's up to 36 at this point. 3 of them are definitely iffy. The rest, I think, are definitely doable. It just depends. And I might actually send Phil out to do some stuff on his own in the Philadelphia area. Let's see. Okay. So it's looking like actually might have 3 weekends lined up here, which is actually pretty cool. Which would be 100 Acre Manor and Field of Screams the first weekend, and then the crazy 903-mile Odyssey, which would be Shocktoberfest, Eastern State, Dorney, and Bloodview second weekend, and possibly even, and then obviously the third weekend would be a little bit further south, where that would be Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, followed with Person Legends of the Fog. After that, I would probably be sticking local. And doing a Pittsburgh weekend for the fourth weekend. I don't know exactly, but so far it seems like things are going pretty good, and it took a little while to get there. But it's actually in a good place. So I am going to probably end this here. In an hour. I have some other stuff to do. I got some writing to get to, and I desperately need to get more something to drink. But again, I'm going to be doing a lot more of these things. Some of the stuff I'm going to be doing is also going to be from the road. You'll see me with my phone a lot. I did that last year. Those videos are on the channel here. Some of the stuff gets released a little bit earlier for people on Patreon. That's something that I will be talking about probably tomorrow. I plan to do another session like this. I don't know what it'll be focused on exactly, but whatever comes into my mind. So again, thanks for watching this and joining me through the process tonight. And if you're watching this afterwards, awesome. And yeah, so that's that. Until next time, sweet screams and pleasant nightmares.